San Francisco at Candlestick Park, the NFC Championship game between the Dallas Cowboys being introduced right now and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, a lot of talk about the weather, the field, all that kind of stuff, but you just have to put that out of your mind.
And I think now, just watching the Cowboys go out there for their introduction, that's the last thing in their mind. They were out here, they tried to feel out. They know what that is. Jimmy Johnson said, hey, forget about the field. Just go out and play. And they know that they're 60 minutes or one football game away from going to the Super Bowl, and that is all that's on any of their minds. And when you think of a wet field and a muddy field, you always think of running. I think this game is eventually going to get to running. I think it's going to get to Emmitt Smith and Ricky Watters. But first, I think you have to pass. I think you have to pass early. I think you have to pass to loosen them up and then go to the running game later.
Emmitt Smith, who should play such a key role in this contest. The 49ers will be on offense first. And that first strike could be very, very important on a day like today.
Usually on a day like today, as I was just saying, the field is as good as it's going to get right now. So if you have some big plays in mind, if you want to get deep, if you want to throw the ball, you have to throw it early. Hope you get your lead and then keep your lead later in the game with the running game.
Temperature 52 degrees. The wind southeast 15 to 25 miles an hour. They won't feel much of that down on the field, but they will feel the rain. It's been raining since early this morning. About a half hour ago, the sun came out, but not for long. Short kickoff by Elliott, and now they blow it dead. They weren't ready to start yet. That seems strange after all this get ready time.
Well, the championship game, you're waiting for the championship game. We can't wait to get out there and start the game.
Well, you remember that happened in the Super Bowl last year.
The signal was not given to the kicker.
See, the kicker has to wait until he gets the signal and the whistle, and that's what starts the game. But those guys get up there, they're anxious, and and some of the craziest guys in football are those guys that are on cover teams, and they're yelling at the kick the ball, kick the ball.
They're supposed to be. Jerry Markbright is the referee, by the way. He was the referee in the Super Bowl when they did the same thing. Well, different kicker.
At least Elliott gets to loosen that ball up again.
That was not much of a kick. Troy Aikman.
He's so nervous he's still getting dressed. He didn't even get dressed in the house all the way. At least he's probably taking some stuff off. I think you don't want to wear a lot of clothes in a game like this because you have more stuff to get wet.
And when it gets wet, of course it gets heavy. Marc Logan at about the 6. Dallas down in good shape. Steve Young, what a year he had, will quarterback the 49ers. In front of him, Wallace, McIntyre, Sapolo, Foster, Harris, Barton, and Brent Jones, the tight end. Ricky Watters and Rathman, the 2 runners, and Rice and Taylor will be the wide receivers. 1st and 10 San Francisco at the 21. Last week against the Redskins, Young, 20 out of 30. He came out firing. He'll do the same. Brent Jones, 1st down at the 35. Robert Jones made the stop. Haley, Maryland, Casillas, and Tolbert up front. In the Dallas 4-3 set, Norton, Jones, and Vincent Smith behind them. Brown and Kevin Smith, the cornerbacks. Washington and Everett are the 2 safeties. Kevin Smith just taken off the field, and Isaac Holt replaces him at left corner. That happened on the first play. This time it's Watters, pursued by the #1 defense in the NFL. Larry Brown led the pursuit.
One of the interesting thing about that Dallas Cowboy defense is we know that the 49ers script their first 15 plays. So in talking to Dave Wanstadt, the defensive coordinator, and to Jimmy Johnson, what they said they wanted to do was script their first 15 defensive plays that would be unlike anything they've ever done before. So after 15 plays, the 49ers aren't going to know any more about the defense than they did before.
Look for us, he said, to do something different, like blitz in this 2nd and long situation. And here they come. Young just did get rid of it to Rice. Chased by Holt, touchdown 49ers. Flag on the play. Penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage.
And it's against the 49ers. You can tell the way they're reacting. But like I said, if you're going to get a big play, you're going to go for the big throw. On a day like this, on a field like this, get it early.
62, offense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
The 49ers did, but they had holding on their left guard, Guy McIntyre. Let's watch McIntyre. He's right there. He's a left guard, number 62. You see Charles Haley starts to the inside. McIntyre was blocking against him. And of course, right at the end, he may have gone for that left leg of Haley's. But Charles Haley is a guy who is going to cause havoc with this 49er team today.
He's been causing havoc all week, telling people the characteristics of the 49ers with whom he played for so long. 2nd and 18. The Cowboys just dodged a bullet. Kevin Smith back at the cornerback now. Holt is out. They go deep again. Too deep.
You know, one thing that's interesting, Pat, you know, the Cowboys are not a blitzing team. They don't do a lot of blitzing. The first time they blitzed, they really got burned by it. Jerry Rice on a touchdown. So I will bet we don't see much blitzing by the Cowboys anymore today.
Well, it was a different kind of blitz, too. Most of the time, they don't bring the linebackers. They did. Usually, it comes from one of the 2 defensive backs.
Well, that's one of those paralysis from analysis.
Yep.
You know, you think too much, you're going to throw their script off. You throw yourself off.
Young to throw it. Quarterback draw. This was planned. Young down just outside the 35 by Darren Woodson. 11-yard scramble. But I guess if it's planned, you don't call it a scramble, do you?
He saw that right away. He had the lead block in there. And you'll see he's going to start back. Now he's looking for the lane. They double team the thing. You see the fullback leads through. Tom Rathman leads. It's really a lead draw to the quarterback. The only thing in, that was a heck of a play by number 28, Darren Woodson.
He's a good player. Wilmsmeyer gets off a good punt. Martin shook one tackler, but just briefly as Odessa Turner did a heck of a job. He was down under. Martin got away from him, and Turner came back and got him. Nothing in the NFC Championship. Dallas and San Francisco. Troy Aikman, the quarterback for the Cowboys. A fine offensive line in front of him. Tuine, Newton, Stepnoski, Giesick, and Eric Williams. Novacek, the tight end. Emmitt Smith and Daryl Johnston, the 2 runners. Mostly Smith. Irvin and Harper, the wide receivers. They're both left. Novacek, the tight end, on the right. And Aikman. Irvin. First down, Cowboys. Good throw, good pattern. Stopped by Griffin. The 49er defense, Fagan, Carter, and Holt in front. Romanowski, Walter, DeLong, and Harris, the linebackers. Griffin and Davis, the cornerbacks. Hall and Whitmore, the safeties.
Well, in a big game, you have to go to your big player, and one of the biggest players on this Cowboy team all year has been Michael Irvin. See what he did? He gave that double move there. He made him think he was going deep. Don Griffin pushed him off and then ran the out on him.
1st and 10 Cowboys. Fake to Smith. Aikman to fullback Daryl Johnston. Near first down yardage again. That got about 9.5 if it didn't get the first. Keith DeLong tripped him up. Johnston I was talking to before the game. He'd had both knees troubling him. He had one of them drained before the game, and he said they felt pretty good. He's a key element that doesn't get much recognition.
Well, he does, because he's the guy that has to make all the adjustments. He's the guy that has to do all the lead blocking for Emmitt Smith that, and eventually in this game, is going to be a big part of the game. And, of course, he is a big receiver also.
2 plays, 2 first downs.
And he got a good test for his knee right here in the play. Watch, he takes a hit right there on the knee. And you know, one thing you know about this field, I always think when you have a wet field, you're going to have fewer injuries. The other thing is you can take a hit in the knee, and it's not as dangerous when your foot is not planted in the ground.
Well, that's so true. 1st and 10. Dallas, Emmitt Smith's first carry. Not a good one. Tim Harris wrapped up Emmitt Smith. A loss of 2.
Well, you know, the Dallas Cowboys always run inside between the tackles. This starts inside between the tackles and then bounces out. When we were talking to Emmitt Smith yesterday, he said that he thought they could get outside, that he thought that he could take some bounce outs. And I think before you take the bounce outs, you got to make them play the inside stuff first. They were playing for a bounce out.
Well, as you said to Emmitt yesterday, do you find it's tougher to run early? And I think he attested to that. And just did again. Intended for Daryl Johnston, incomplete. 3rd down and about 12 coming.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. I think with both of these teams, Pat, you think about Emmitt Smith and you think about Ricky Waters and running, but they're both starting off with the passing game. And as Jimmy Johnson says, you have to loosen this defense up first before Emmitt is really going to be effective.
3rd and 12. Dallas at their own 41-yard line. 49ers got the kickoff, had the punt. They had a touchdown to Rice, called back. And now Dallas, 3rd and long. Novacek. Not quite enough for the first. Magruder knocked him out of bounds about a yard shy.
Tell you, one thing we're going to see in this game from both defenses is very good tackling. I think the best thing about the Cowboy defense is their nickel defense, and they're tackling in the nickel defense, and the same thing with the 49ers. And that was just a heck of a tackle from their nickel defense.
Mike Saxon back deep to punt for the Cowboys. Daryl Johnston setting things up. Again, he's a very key part of this. Saxon doesn't get it all. Fumble, and Daryl Johnston comes up with the ball in the air and gets the recovery for the Cowboys. It was a short kick by Saxon.
You know, Jimmy Johnson always says there's 3 areas. There's offense, defense, and the kicking game. And he says the area that we're going to win is the kicking game. And it starts right here. There's a heck of a hit. The ball bounces out. There's Daryl Johnston to get it. The guy that made the hit was Dixon Edwards. Watch him, 58. Boom, he gets in there, hits right on the ball. The ball comes out. Daryl Johnston caught it on a fly.
First down, Dallas, after all that, at the 49er 22.
That was a heck of a hit by Dixon Edwards.
Well, that's the phase, as you said, that he thought he could win. Irvin hangs on. 1st and goal at the 1.
I'll tell you one thing about Michael Irvin. He is a tough receiver. You know a lot about these guys that'll catch you ups, catch you outs and stuff. But he'll go inside, have that concentration, know that he's going to get hit. In this case, when he comes to the inside there on Eric Davis, he knows that safety is going to be right there to hit him, but he concentrates, catches that ball, and will go in there with as much enthusiasm as he does outside plays.
He took a second lick from Hall and still hung on. 1st and goal at the 1. Johnson and Smith. That's Emmitt Smith, nothing. Maybe lost a yard. Michael Carter quickly into the secondary.
Remember last week they got down here and they threw a play pass. They threw it to Derek Tennell. He was wide open. Talking to Norv Turner last night, and he said this 49er defense, when you get down in the goal line, is really tough. Especially if you don't block number 95, the nose tackle, and when he's going in the direction that you're going to run, that is impossible.
That's a pretty tough load to make change directions.
even slow up and go in that direction. Michael Carter wants to go in a direction. Michael Carter goes in that direction.
Because he's from Dallas. Here's Aikman looking. Novacek incomplete. Good coverage. Merton Hanks right with Novacek.
That first down play was so big because they stopped him, and really they made a passing down out of this. They roll out here. Merton Hanks has great coverage there on Jay Novacek. But the first down play made that play happen. Now they get second incomplete. Now they get third down. Now the 49ers can bring in their nickel because this is a true passing down.
And the Cowboys have brought in their passing package. They took out Gogan. They took out the extra tight end. Now they have the 3 wide receivers. Novacek on the move. Aikman back to throw it. Looking is Aikman out of the end zone. They'll have to settle for 3, but that's going to be tricky on a field like this.
Hey, that was a heck of a goal line stand here. These 49er fans realize it because they gave a turnover. Their defense came in and did the job that they had to do. The big play was that first down run to Emmitt Smith, the big play on defense by Carter.
Steve Berline is the holder. Elliott will try for the field goal. This will be about 20 yards. Dallas 3, San Francisco nothing. 8:20 left to play in the first quarter. The Cowboys break on top. Back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the rain is just about stopped as Elliott kicks off to the 1 to Logan. At midfield. Knocked out by Gant.
Yeah, it's funny how you think about these big games and the championship games and you forget that kicking game. You know, that is such a big part. Coaches will say it, and they'll say the kicking game and the offense and the defense. Then you get into a game and you realize the kicking game really got the Cowboys their first 3 points, gave them the momentum, and then this is a part of a kicking game here, bringing the ball back, getting inside the 50-yard line. That is great field position. 1st and 10 in Dallas territory at about their 48. Young back to throw it. Outside Rathman. Rathman out of bounds. About a foot shy, it appears, from first down yardage. There's Dixon Edwards. Yeah, he's the guy that caused that fumble. If you said, how did the Cowboys get their first 3 points, I would think you would have to give the credit to Dixon Edwards. Whereas had it not been for Michael Carter, instead of 3, that could have been a 7-point play.
That looks more like a cramp.
Yeah, they're trying to rub it out.
Yeah.
That's always good when they try and rub it. When they start twisting and turning to check, that's not always as good a news.
They're going to measure, and the chain gang had to come from all the way on the other side of the field to see if it was a first down, and it is.
Yeah, the interesting thing that I thought the 49ers were getting in a rut, throwing to the left all the time. We're getting in a real strong left-handed throwing tendency. One thing in this first quarter that they've come out to do is dispel that and go to the right. That last pass completion was just to the right. The big touchdown that was called back to Jerry Rice was from the right-hand side.
That's one of those things you probably do by scouting yourself. This is Waters with room. Ricky Waters out of bounds at about the 22.5-yard line. Picked up 16. Stopped by Brown.
Ricky Waters is a fun player to watch. He'd be a fun player to play with, and the coach, I don't know how much fun he would be to have to play against, but this guy is just moving all the time. Watch him. It's a lead draw. He leaves Rathman there. Rathman went in the 5-hole. Ricky Waters takes it in the 7-hole, outruns the secondary, has the straight arm, the celebrations. This Ricky Waters has everything.
All the elements.
He's a fun guy. I mean, he was ready to play on Friday. They could have brought the Cowboys in then.
Here's Young. Put to the Waters. about the 14. Dixon Smith took him down.
The first thing they have to do, Pat, is take care of Charles Haley. Get him blocked. They know that to be able to throw the ball, they're going to have to block Charles Haley. There's Steve Wallace. He's going to block him every different way you can. But you don't want to just do it one way. That time, he cut him. There's no one better than this spinning than Ricky Waters.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can go out there and spin, but knowing how to do it and when to do it makes a special guy.
At the 15, Waters again. This time, not much room. Maybe a yard. Remember, Ricky Waters said to us about mid-season that he had forgotten about that spin move. And he talked to his father, and his father said, whatever happened to that? So he put it back in his arsenal, he said.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes coaches don't like you to do that. I mean, they like you to, you know, finish off the run, they say. Get behind your shoulder pads and do those types of things, and don't spin. But if you have a talent to spin like Ricky Waters, you better use it.
Waters this time split wide to the left. This is another element that he adds to their offense. Rathman comes out there in motion. Young goes straight ahead, first down. 3 yards straight ahead by Steve Young.
Now, it's an interesting play. You could really play quarterback sneak on that thing, because if you look out, Ricky Waters was out here. Here's Rathman here. So you look in here where you'd have backs, and there's no backs in here. The only guy that could carry the ball is Steve Young. So if you're going to play run on that down, there's no back left.
Just inside the 10. First down. Waters the lone setback this time. Here's Young. Whips it outside to Rice. Out of bounds at the 3. Kelvin Smith took him out.
And he's going to go to the right today. Talking about lining Jerry Rice up in the left all the time, throwing to the left. Not today. You can see it looks like the Cowboys are playing that tendency too. Kelvin Smith was really playing inside. As I say, that most of Steve Young's passes are in the middle and to the left. Kelvin Smith was trying to take advantage of that, and when Jerry Rice ran the out on him, there was no way Kelvin Smith could get there.
Second and goal. 4:45 left to play in the first quarter. Waters. The 49ers players signaled touchdown, but no officials did. Robert Jones made the stop. He got a yard.
Now, these two teams are so much alike. You know, Ricky Waters running the ball, Tom Rathman doing the leading. Watch him come in here. Barton takes his guy up the field. Tom Rathman leads. Now, Ricky Waters made a mistake there. He should have followed Tom Rathman. If you have a lead blocker, as you did with Rathman, and he's in there and he gives you a soft spot, get in behind him. Ricky Waters left his lead blocker too soon.
Third and goal, about a foot away. Young, touchdown.
That was the same play, Pat. When it ended up, there was no one left in the backfield except Steve Young. You see Tom Rathman coming in motion. If they're going to run the ball, Steve Young has to run it. Ricky Waters was outside. Rathman went in motion. Of course, that'll loosen up the defense. Then Steve Young could find a hole in the left side.
And a good surge by the 49ers offensive line.
Young got in there behind Guy McIntyre and Steve Wallace.
Right. Cofer with Bono holding for the extra point. 8 plays, 48 yards after that outstanding kickoff return by Logan. 7-3, the 49ers lead.
That drive is looking at every play on that drive to see what they did and how they lined up.
Cofer's kick will be handled by Kelvin Martin at about the 2. And there's some room. Martin out to about the 33. Another good kickoff return. Stopped by Odessa Turner. Dallas ball. Their rushing yards total so far, not what they're used to. -3. Troy Aikman First and 10 at their own 34. Harper wide left. Reverse to Harper. And Harper outside the 35. A lot of running, picked up 3.5, maybe 4 yards. Stopped by Keith DeLong.
Yeah, as we said, the field is really going to be a problem, and it's going to be a problem. The problem will get worse as the game goes on. So any trick types of things that you have, any big passes, any reverses, any reverse passes, anything like that, you want to get those plays in the first half. You don't want to wait till the second half to do those kinds of things.
Second and 7. Anyway. Second and 7, excuse me. Aikman to Daryl Johnston. And that last surge got his first down in the arms of Mike Walter.
Well, Daryl Johnston's nickname is the Moose, and Troy Aikman always kids, and you got Michael Irvin on one side, Alvin Harper, you got Kmart coming in, Emmitt Smith, and he said there's going to be a game someday where we're going to turn the Moose loose. And maybe the first quarter of the championship game they're turning the Moose loose.
Maybe so. The Moose has got a bad wheel.
Yeah, but he's caught a couple already.
Harper wide left. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt across the 45. Finally picked his way for a couple. Tim Harris and Mike Walter made the stop.
Good 49er defense. Watch this. He's going to start in there to the left, and then he's not going to find any hole. You see, he would like to, if we could just stop right here, you see, he would like to get a cutback lane in here. But look at all these 49ers there. They take away the point of attack, then they take away from the point of attack where Emmitt Smith would like to cut back. Very solid defense.
Good play by Mike Walters. He met Johnston in the hole and buckled him.
And that's what made Emmitt Smith cut back.
Bad exchange on Aikman from the center. Stepnoski, he never did have the ball. He finally got it just before he went down. Romanowski, a loss of 10.
Yeah, I think of all the things in this weather and this field that is going to be tough, it's ball handling. Anyone that has the ball in their hand, you see that? It's, like you say, Pat, he never did get it back. I mean, never got it up there, and then by the time he got control of the football, there was no chance to make a play, so he did the smart thing, just hold on to it and go down.
3rd and 18. Well, Troy Aikman was saying the toughest thing about playing a game like this on a field like this is patience. And here's a time to exercise some of that. Well, the sack by Martin Harrison. You don't have time to be patient.
And Martin Harrison has really come along for this team. He's going to start here on the outside. Now, what they like to do is stunt, you know, where they cross the lineman. But Martin Harrison is on one side. See how he starts to the inside, takes that inside gap on 2-A, then the tackle works to the outside to protect him. But at the end of the season, Martin Harrison has become as big a factor on the pass rush as Tim Harris has on the other side for the 49ers.
Saxon back deep for Dallas. Alan Grant for the 49ers deep. Another short kick taken at the 37. Into Dallas territory, down to about the 47. Stopped finally by Mickey Pruitt. A 16-yard return, so they net only 19 yards. As we wind down in the closing seconds of quarter number 1 with the 49ers leading 7-3.
Yeah, we talked about the tendencies that the 49ers had, and they really came in the first quarter of this game to break those tendencies. And it was Steve Young last week was throwing left. They were doing everything left. Look at this game. 1 for 1 to the left. So far, he's been 3 for 4 to the right.
Waters is in the slot to the left. Young is back to throw it. Goes right again, this time to Rathman. Rathman knocked out of bounds by Smith. Picked up 3. Flag on the play.
Hey, this is just what you expected, though. You knew that these two teams, you could see it coming all year. Number 1 and number 2 going to play each other. offense. You knew that neither team was really going to be able to stop the other one.
Face mask foul, number 51, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down. Not an automatic first down.
You see again, Ken Norton gets in there, gets that hand in there, number 51. Really didn't get the whole hand in there. That was just one finger.
Earlier today in the AFC Championship game, Buffalo continued to roll, beat Miami 29-10. Buffalo's third straight Super Bowl appearance. Only one question left. Who will they play?
That could be a happy Buffalo team. Congratulations to them. And, of course, they can watch this game a lot of fun to see who they're going to play in the Super Bowl.
1st and 2, that's Waters.
To whom it may concern. It has been a...
They got 2 yards on the ground. 2nd down and 3. That's the Dallas 40. Young. Rathman. 1st down. Robert Jones.
Yeah, Steve Young, you think about him being left-handed, throwing and all that stuff, running, but he's also a big, strong guy, and he hung in there about as long as he could. And watch number 75, Tony Casillas, is going to hit him. If he holds any longer, 75 get up, he has to throw it right now and stand in there and take that hit. But, that's the thing. You always say, why didn't he throw to this guy? Why didn't he throw to that guy? You have to realize that the defense is getting closer and closer, and you better unload it when you can.
1st and 10. That's Taylor in motion, and Young back to throw again. Chased by Haley. Incomplete. No flag. Jerry Rice, the intended receiver. Haley hit Young just as he let it go.
Yep, and Kevin Smith hit Rice just as the ball got there. That is good defense here by Kevin Smith. Watch him. He's a rookie #1 draft choice of the Cowboys. He was right on Jerry Rice. Fed him all the way, went with him. Boom, he got that right hand in there. And, of course, the pressure comes from Steve Young's backside by Charles Haley. Of course, it was his backside because he was turning to throw to the right. You got to chalk up one for Charles Haley on that one.
2nd and 10. Young, Waters, nothing.
They tried to trap Charles Haley on that one. We talk about the 49ers scripting their first 15 plays. And this is what they did. They ran 7 times to the left, 1 time to the right, threw 2 times to the left, and 5 times to the right. So if you look, they ran 9 times and passed 6 times. So Mike Shanahan makes those plays up on Friday night. That's what they're going to do. Then from that, they formulate the rest of their game plan.
3rd and 10. Mike Sherrard now in. Waters out as they go with 3 wideouts. Young almost lost the ball. Now gets away from a couple of Cowboys. Does not get a first down, but might have got them in field goal range with that little scramble.
Remember last week in this field, Steve Young fumbled 3 times. When we talked to him the other day, he said, if there's anything I'm going to be conscious is of not fumbling. And, of course, you still have to play, and you say, well, why does he have the ball up there in the air? Why does he have the ball flopping around? Well, that's the way Steve Young plays this game.
The ball is almost to Steve Young. It looks like he handles it like a baton for a sprinter.
Well, it helps the balance for his run.
Yeah. 47 yards away is Cofer. Bono holding. No good. And the Cowboys will hold and take over. San Francisco, however, leads 7-3.
You decided which vehicle you want to go with today?
We got very close to Steve Young on a play. Then the next time they came back and they tried to trap him, he played that well. And, of course, he was part of the defense that forced the 49ers to go for a field goal that they missed. There's Steve Wallace, the guy who has to block Charles Haley most of today. And so far, I think both these tackles have done a pretty good job, both Wallace and Barton of the 49ers.
Excellent. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 29. San Francisco leading at 7-3. Irvin wide right. Harper left. Aikman to throw. Harper stopped by Griffin, a gain of 9.
But you know who also does a heck of a job as a right tackle, Eric Williams for the Cowboys. Watch Harper here. He's just going to come up, just stop, run a hook there right in front. And that was a good throw by Aikman. But watch here, Eric Williams here. He's blocking Tim Harris. Now, this guy is just such a good pass protector. He's big, he's strong, he has great feet. He just stays right in front of Harris. Any place Harris goes, you can't even see the quarterback.
2nd and 1. Flag on the play as Johnston will get the first down, but the flag thrown by the umpire early.
Emmitt Johnson has really done a heck of a job with this Cowboy team, and you know, I mean, it's well documented.
Ball start, number 61, offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
False start by Nate Newton. That one would be easy to pick up, I would think.
Oh yeah, you pick up old Big Nate when he moves early. But Jimmy Johnson's done it. He's going to be a victim of his own success, because I think after this season he's probably going to lose some players to free agency. I think he's going to lose his defensive coordinator Dave Wannstedt to a head coaching job in this league, and maybe another assistant or two.
2nd and 6. Smith. Emmitt Smith close to first down. Got 5. Tim Harris tripped him up.
There's old Big Nate. We're just talking about him, number 61 here. They're going to start to the left, and then they're going to cut it back to the right. He just comes in. You know, and anytime Nate puts that 330 pounds on you, you're going to go backwards. You know, and Nate loves that. You know, when he gets to play against a linebacker, my man Nate gets a little run at him. And then when they collide, boom, that linebacker goes up in the air. Then he goes about 5 yards back.
You're going to go where he wants to take you.
Yeah, if he can get on you, if he can get square on you. I talked to Nate yesterday out here in the field, and he was saying one thing about being a heavy guy, a big old guy, you don't have to worry about your footing. Because when you put these feet in the ground with that weight on top of it, those feet are going to stay in the ground.
Nate can give you every reason to be big.
Oh, yeah, Nate loves it. He says, that's great. He said, those little old light guys, he said, they slip and fall around. He said, big old guys with a solid base, you eat sinkers, yeah, everything just kind of sinks right down there in on you.
Gogan is the tight end now on the left. Speaking of big guys, Aikman gives to Daryl Johnston, first down. Carter made the stop. Speaking of big guys.
Now Nate, after every play, he hitches up his pants. Now, you know, he lost all that weight. I mean, he went from like 380 to...
He found it.
To about 290, and then he had to put some weight on and off. He's trying to get the right weight. But when he was really heavy, after every play, he would hitch up his pants. And I've noticed, just watching film the last couple of weeks, he's starting to hitch up the pants after every play again.
First down, and Aikman fakes to Smith, back to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Novacek. Eric Davis, the nearest 49er.
But I tell you, you know, watching Nate here, he's blocking against Kevin Feige. You see what he does? He just gets both hands out there, keeps the guy right out there, and then just pushes him any way he wants to go. Now watch this when it's all over. Once you get your guy blocked and it's all over, well, you put both thumbs in there, get a good grip, and just hitch him right up over there. Right up over the compilation.
2nd and 10. Aikman has the ball batted backwards, incomplete. Tim Harris got a hand up.
The 49ers do a lot of this, you know, lying stunts or games where the defensive linemen cross. And you see it right there in the left-hand side of the screen. The end comes in, and that was Tim Harris, and that's how he got it. He started outside, then he comes inside. Now watch Tim Harris as he goes up. he not only puts a hand up, but he goes for the ball. You know, some guys just put their hands up. Some guys have a feeling when they put their hands up to hit the ball.
Third down and 10. Aikman has the ball fly loose. He was chased by Dennis Brown, who got a piece of him. And the ball came out, and Aikman was able to recover it.
There's another guy that can cause some havoc, because right here, Dennis Brown, just watch him. When he gets started, he's going to go right by Nate. He gets that move, you see, and then he gets that left shoulder inside. Then he comes right up the thing. Now he goes by Aikman, and watch him reach around with that right hand. He reaches around with the right hand and pulls and knocks the ball right out of Aikman's hand. That was lucky that wasn't the 49ers ball.
Third time they've gotten back close to Aikman. Got the hand on the ball that time. Saxon back to punt to Alan Grant. Better kick. Grant at the 14. Cowboys down in a hurry. Clayton Holmes was the first man to hit him. 9:33 left in the first half. 7-3 San Francisco.
I wouldn't do that.
Get married?
Nobody has slipped, and I give a lot of credit to George Toma. He's done a heck of a job getting this field in shape.
You know, I think if the field didn't work, there'd be a lot of talk about it. But if you look at all that dark green, that's all new turf that George Toma and his crew put in, and it is holding up extremely well.
49ers give the ball to Waters. Waters, scramble, fumble. And the Cowboys have it. Kelvin Smith came up with the ball. Flag on the play still. A flag on the play. He might have been down. They might say he was down. Let's see. Jerry Markwright.
I don't think so, Pat. Ricky Waters ran off the field to the 49ers sideline shaking his head, and if he thought that he was going to be able to keep the ball, I think he would have stayed there. But they're going to start off here in the left side. Good block by Wallace. Good lead block by Tom Rathman.
Of the recovering team.
Now the fumble comes out. Now it's Cowboys ball, and the penalty was on a block after the fumble recovery. But you're going to see number 27, Thomas Everett. He's the guy who makes the hit here. See, he gets the ball is hit out. Then Kevin Smith picked it up.
Tony Tolbert was called for the illegal block. Waters upset, not with the field, upset with himself.
And then you're upset with yourself. You're upset because you fumbled. Then you get upset with anyone who talks to you about being upset. Ricky Waters on the sideline is a lot like Gary Clark of the Redskins.
Emmitt Smith to about the 40. Got about 4.
Yeah, now there's one guy. There's Roy Foster, the old, veteran, 11-year player who's been in this league that goes up, and I think a player will listen more to a veteran player like a Tom Rathman or a Roy Foster than a coach trying to talk to him, and everyone's trying to calm him down, and you have to calm him down before you get the ball again. 2nd and 6.
Smith again. Emmitt Smith, first down, Dallas. Smith out of bounds at about the 20. Don Griffin knocked him out of bounds. And again, getting back to,
and a heck of a block by Daryl Johnston. Watch a fullback here. He's going to get a block on Tim Harris. Watch, he starts a block there, then he stays with him, and he gets him again. And right there, just by staying with him, that was the block that let Emmitt Smith get to that corner.
15 yards, excuse me, John.
Yeah, that's why these fullbacks are so valuable, whether you're talking about Johnston on the Cowboys or Rathman on the 49ers. They don't have a lot of the glory things, but they make the glory things available to the other guys.
Smith. By Mike Walter. John Johnson. 5 yards for Emmitt Smith.
We were talking to Ricky Waters yesterday. He says that when he plays against a great back like an Emmitt Smith, he says he likes to watch him, because he can learn from him. He can learn from everyone. But Ricky Waters is not in the mood now
To watch anybody.
to watch Emmitt Smith. They are trying to calm him down. He has so much energy. Calming him down is a full-time job.
2nd and 6 at the 16. Johnston now lines up as a tight end on the right side as Harper comes in motion. Aikman fake, gets it to Johnston. Dives close to a first down at the 10, tripped up by Eric Davis.
Tim Harris didn't want to let the Moose loose. The Moose had to go sideways, go down on one knee, jump up, and go outside to finally get loose.
Just outside the 10-yard line with 7:07 left to play in the first half, and San Francisco leading Dallas 7-3.
I used to hate it when the kicker would warm up when you were at a first down on the 10-yard line.
That's one thing I never did.
No, you never let him do that. Don't think of field goal. Now, if he says I'm warming up for the extra point, that's all right.
Well, you shouldn't have to warm up for an extra point.
That's the other point. That's why you shouldn't be warming up.
Aikman straight back. Over the middle to Emmitt Smith, not much. Well, 4 yards. Against this defense today, that's pretty good.
That's what Norv Turner was saying about the 49er defense. You know, they've been vulnerable. They don't have the best numbers in the league, but he says over the years, and Norv Turner was the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, and he used to be with the Rams, and he said over the years, getting inside that 20, their defense always got tougher.
And they've gotten better as this year has progressed.
Their whole defense has gotten better.
2nd and 7. Smith deep. Right at the line of scrimmage. Emmitt Smith by Ted Washington this time. And Mike Walter.
Yeah, Mark Stepnoski, the center, really didn't get any movement there. Daryl Johnston gets a pretty good lead block. But watch Stepnoski. He was blocking Ted Washington. Ted Washington just threw Stepnoski right back into the backfield. Now, if you don't get that block, if the center doesn't get his block, if he allows penetration by the nose tackle, you are not going to run the football.
3rd and 6, the second time the Cowboys have been down inside the 10. Now they go with their wide receiver package, 3 of them. Aikman to throw it. Incomplete, a flag on the play.
And I bet it was on Emmitt Smith, holding on Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith was trying to get out into the pass pattern pad, and they grabbed him. I think Aikman was going to look for him, too. You'll see it right in the middle of the thing. He was looking for him.
And that would be a first down if that's true.
That's because Troy Aikman looked like he wanted to go to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith was trying to release inside the line, and the lineman just grabbed him.
Kevin Fagan, I think, grabbed him.
Well, watch, Emmitt Smith is here. He's going to come in here and try and get through. Now watch him get grabbed. You see him here? He fakes the draw. Now right now, he's trying to get out in the pass pace. He's tackled right there. He gets tackled, and that's the thing that the official saw. And that was who Aikman was trying to go to. See him? He gets tackled right there.
Automatic first down. Another big key to that whole thing. 1st and goal now at the 4.
Now this is a big decision for Norv Turner. Do you run and say you're going to run it in, or do you go play pass, which would be a good call here?
Run with Smith. Good call here.
That's a better call.
Daryl Johnston with a good block in front. Smith with the touchdown. And the Cowboys take the lead.
And that's what Emmitt Smith said yesterday that he wants to do. He said he thinks he usually runs between the tackles, but he thinks against this 49er team, he can bounce it out. He's going to start to the inside and the left. There's Daryl Johnston again with a good lead block. And again, Johnston makes the block that makes the touchdown for Emmitt Smith so easy. Hey, if you have an MVP for the Cowboys for this first half, to me, it has to be Daryl Johnston.
Has to be.
He's been in on everything. The Moose as well.
Elliott's extra point is good, and the Cowboys lead it now 10-7 with 5:05 left to play in the first half. play in the first half. George Seifert and Jerry Markbright, the referee. Spirited conversation, and this is what he was talking about, John.
Well, I know what he was complaining about is he was complaining. This is a touchdown play here where Daryl Johnston makes a heck of a block on Romanowski. And
that's not what he was complaining about.
No, what he was complaining about was a holding penalty on Emmitt Smith.
Right.
When Emmitt Smith went through the line, when he was saying it's a play fake, the defensive lineman can't see. They don't know that it's a pass, and they're just tackling, think he's a runner.
Grant.
I'll tell you, that's the big thing. That was a big play. I mean, you take that whole sequence, the turnover by the 49ers when Ricky Watters fumbled. Then the defense of the 49ers really plays well, but they get that holding penalty, which gives the Cowboys an automatic first down. And it was on Pierce Holt, who was just making a tackle. He thought Emmitt Smith was a runner.
And that was on third down when that took place. So they were getting close to being out of downs. That gave them a fresh start.
And that tackle was a 7-point, or at least a 4-point tackle.
Young just gets it out, but gets it complete to Taylor. John Taylor had his knee down, wrestled around by Everett. A gain of 7. Young just didn't get rid of it.
You know, one thing I think you have to do with a young guy like Ricky Watters, he's a rookie. I mean, he was with the 49ers last year, but he didn't play all year, so this is his first year. I think when something bad happens like that, I think you got to try and calm him down on the sidelines, but then he's going to be a big part of the second half of this game, and I think you have to get him back into the game, get the ball back to him as soon as you can.
Someone said it's not how much you remember, it's how fast you can forget. Let's see if he does. Watters up to the 40, stopped by Casillas, got 6.
Yeah, I think a guy with a talent like Ricky Watters, I mean, he's a guy who's gained over 1,000 yards. He's going to the Pro Bowl. You can't get him down. You can't get down on him, and you can't let him get down on himself. And I think that was a smart play. You get him back in there, you hand him the ball, get him back into the flow of the game, and let him forget about that fumble.
First down, 49ers. Rice in the slot. Here comes the Cowboy blitz again. Young gets rid of it. Rice has it. And tiptoed down the sidelines to the 33-yard line. Larry Brown was with Rice. Boy, that's a remarkable play by Steve Young and Jerry Rice.
And that's why Jerry Rice is Jerry Rice. Jimmy Johnson says we watch him on film, and he doesn't look like he makes great plays because he makes every play look so easy. And of course, that was one right there. I mean, this is a great play. Steve Young, he has pressure. He steps up. You see, because he's so strong, he just took that one guy and just ripped him right off and then threw the ball.
Don't all the great ones in every sport make it look easy, though?
Yeah, I mean, there was never anyone that made it look any easier than Joe Montana.
It's Rathman inside the 25 to about the 23. Stopped by Jones and Norton. Picked up 12 for the 49ers.
Yeah, we were talking about Daryl Johnston, and everything that Daryl Johnston is to the Dallas Cowboys, Tom Rathman is to this 49er team. He's a guy that does all the leading for Ricky Watters, does all the tough blocking, the blitzes and everything. He's a guy that when you need a catch, he'll get open and catch the ball. He's a tough guy, a real football player. There's a real football player, Joe Montana. Boy, was he fun to watch.
First and 10, Young gives to Watters. A lot of room. I beg your pardon, that's Amp Lee, who had replaced Watters. Stopped by Vincent Smith. Amp Lee, this year's first-round draft choice. 7 yards.
Amp Lee, you know, when they started out, it was between Amp Lee and Ricky Watters. Ricky Watters beat out Amp Lee, a rookie in training camp. Ricky Watters played most of the year, and then he got hurt. Amp Lee came in and really played well. And when Ricky Watters came back from that shoulder injury last week, Amp Lee didn't play at all.
Second and 3. We have 2 minutes left to play in the first half with the score Dallas 10, San Francisco 7. You know, 1993 marks the first. Let me start this again. Too many years. The 1993 marks the 68th consecutive year that Goodyear blimps have flown over major sporting events. That means they had blimps before I was born. That's what confused me.
And they never got any faster, though, did they? I mean, that's one thing I like about a blimp. Nice, slow pace.
Here's Young. Fake. Taken down, but lunged for a first down. Russell Maryland chased him. Russell
Maryland almost took a lot of Steve Young with him. Russell Maryland was a man on a mission when he comes across there. Watch big number 67. When he sees Steve Young scramble, Maryland may have been the spy on that. That may be his responsibility. I mean, he takes him, he grabs his head, his helmet, and everything. And then Haley takes him on after he's down, and he doesn't even have a helmet on. I tell you, that's tough to take on a guy when you're down on your back with no helmet.
This is a Dallas timeout. They're going to measure over in the mess for a first down. As Young lunged close to it.
Yeah, we talked about the field earlier, and that's the only place that is a mess on that side, and that's a pretty good-looking mess.
It's not a timeout.
Look who's here, still coaching Pierce Holt. That's Jim Burt. Remember Jim Burt right here, the old New York Giant, San Francisco 49er nose tackle? Remember years ago we saw Jim Burt, he was coaching Pierce Holt there on the sideline. What happened to a nose tackle? You notice he's getting a little gray.
Yes, and you part your hair in the middle.
Or you had it parted in the middle by playing nose tackle a long time.
The Cowboys honorary captain Roger Staubach, who took part in the toss of the coin ceremonies before the game. Not many did it much better than he.
I think when you think of the great quarterbacks of the game, the great scramblers of the game, the winners and leaders and classic guys, Roger Staubach is always going to be at the top of that.
He'd be right there. First and 10 49ers at the 13. Young to throw it. Looked outside, sacked and hit by Casillas. Tony Casillas.
That was one of those things, Pat, that they call a coverage sack. Because Steve Young was trying to throw to the left. He had great coverage out there. There was no one to throw to. And then Casillas finally gets him. Watch him here. He's looking to his left. He's looking. He pumps. He has to come back. And when he comes back, he comes right into Tony Casillas' arms.
Dallas timeout. They have one left.
And here's how they're blocking on the other side against Charles Haley. You see Steve Wallace is just taking away that outside, knowing that he has help from the inside from Guy McIntyre. Someone may get there. Casillas gets there, but Charles Haley on that play wasn't going to get there.
That's the book on Steve Young. One lost helmet. Luckily, he got that back.
He's been hurried 6 times and knocked down twice. And again, only lost 1 helmet, as you say. And for a guy, you know, Steve Young's one of those guys that doesn't comb his hair. So a lost helmet isn't as effective on a guy that doesn't go there. It doesn't affect him as much.
He's 9 out of 11, however. Second down. Waters started in motion. The handoff is to Ratman. Ratman inside the 10 to about the 9, stopped by Tolbert.
Now I see Harris Barton out there lost his helmet. Yeah, the field is good.
Yeah.
The footing's real good, but guys seem to be losing their helmet. Here's a little trap play. Guy McIntyre comes around. Woody Rathman leaves his guy, comes to the outside, bounces out 1 hole. That brings up a 3rd down. Now they're going to have to get into a passing situation here.
Another Dallas timeout, and that takes care of all of theirs.
Steve Bono, he's the 3rd quarterback, and he's active because he's the holder. Joe Montana in this game would be the backup quarterback. And again, just like last week, the only way Montana would play is if Steve Young got hurt. During the practice, Steve Young got most of the practice plays. Montana coming into this game knows that he's a number 2 quarterback, and the only way he goes in is if Steve Young gets hurt.
3rd and 7. Young to throw it. Batted down. Woodson, I believe, got the hand up. Might have been Haley. Let's see.
It's going to be on his left side. You see Haley is moved inside. He's working over Wallace. It was him. You see Wallace started him. Then he was passing him off to McIntyre. So Wallace started. He punches him. And then when he lets him go, watch, he lets go right now. And when he lets go, Haley gets his right arm up and knocks that ball down. Because he can cause havoc. When Charles Haley goes to the inside, he can make bad things happen to the offense.
Bono holding. Cofer from 28 yards. Is good, and we have a tie score at 10 with 1:19 left to play in the first half. It has stopped raining.
Now on Verizon's 4G LTE.
Not sure what that is or if we want to comment on it.
I know what that is, though. That's Steve Wallace, who is a heck of a tackle. Steve Wallace is one of the best tackles in this game, and he's going to have a fight all day on his hands with Charles Haley. Talking to Charles Haley yesterday, and he says, you know, he said, I practiced against Steve Wallace, and I practiced against Harris Barton. They're going to know me and all that stuff, but they don't know me going 100% because I never practiced against them going 100%. But today, this is it. I'm going to be focused, and I'm going to go 100% all day.
Now the sun has broken through. The players can see their shadows for the first time in about 2 weeks.
And I'm sure that's the last thing in their mind.
Right.
I used to always tell how fast a guy was by how far the mud went up in the back of his pants. You know, like if the mud just went a little way up when the guy would run, he was slow. And a guy like Cliff Branch, when he would run, he would kick mud all the way up to his shoulder pads. Art Shell would kick it up to the top of his socks.
Cliff Branch needed mud flaps. Art did not.
No. Art didn't need anything. Art was like Nate Newton. And they just kind of stayed right there plugged in the ground.
Short kick. Robert Jones watches it sail out of bounds, and the Cowboys will take over at the 35. They're out of timeouts. 1:19 left to play in the first half.
You know, and the Cowboys did take those timeouts there when the 49ers were down there. They knew the 49ers were going to have to either score a touchdown or kick a field goal, but they were taking their timeouts so that they would get this time right now. They got 1:19 before the half is over.
Aikman is 8 out of 13 for 86 yards. Emmitt Smith has the lone touchdown. That's for Dallas. Here's Aikman, draw play to Emmitt Smith with room. Emmitt Smith to midfield. Stopped by Dennis Brown, a pickup of 15. Stopped by Dana Hall with Dennis Brown.
The Cowboys again have no timeouts. They'll go no huddle. You'd think somewhere on this drive they're going to have to try and get the ball to Michael Irvin.
55 seconds left to play in the first half. To Smith. He's headed for out of bounds. Gets there. Chased by Hanks, who had a rib problem earlier, but apparently that's over.
I think they have to take a shot here. They've been successful throwing to Emmitt Smith. They've been successful with Novacek, with Johnston, and I think they have to go here to a Harper or Michael Irvin, one of their outside speed guys.
50 seconds left to play in the first half. 10-10 tie. 2nd and 4. 49ers will rush 4. Aikman outside to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt struggled to get out of bounds, didn't make it, so the clock continues to run. Don Griffin kept him in bounds after a gain of 8. And the clock is still running.
Well, Troy Aikman is going to have to take the ball now and just throw it down and stop the clock because of that play.
Exactly what he did.
Again, I think you have to take the shot first. I mean, somewhere on this drive, you have to take a shot for a touchdown. And, you know, you just can't keep throwing underneath. I think you can, you know, throw underneath to get in position for that field goal. But in a game like this, in a championship game, when you're on the road, you've used your timeout, I always feel somewhere you have to take the shot at the touchdown.
with only 27 seconds left to play in the first half. At some point.
Yeah, I think with no timeouts, they can still do both. I think they can take a shot at a touchdown and throw underneath the field.